quick commentary here. Yes, I know the Vancouver Canucks game is still going on. I have it in the background while I'm recording this piece of audio, but I wanted to talk about the Montreal Canadiens, not because they won, not because they took a very important 2 points from the Calgary Flames, not because they can't score empty nets or that they can only play really tight games against Calgary, but I wanted to talk about this game because it was Cole Caufield's debut. This video is pretty much going to go over what we learned, what we saw, and a lot of the other things that I wanted to highlight here. Now, full disclosure, I didn't see a big part of this game, mostly because I woke up extraordinarily late. That's not new. Yeah, it's kind of the territory when you're in this position that I'm in. But I also have been devoting most of my time to the Vancouver Canucks game. It's still going on. There's about 9 minutes left in the third period as I'm recording this audio. Also, there was a regional blackout, so I had to actually go over to other services to check out the Montreal game, but pretty much going over what I had been seeing the consensus was, and just reviewing some of the game tape, Cole Caufield's debut, while not actually giving him any points, was a pretty good debut, all things considered, although I don't want to say it was perfect. Obviously, perfect would have been scoring a hat trick and getting the shootout winner, a la Ryan Poehling, but Cole Caufield was out there on a line with Thomas Tatar and Philippe Danault as the right wing on what would have been the first line of the team. Now that in itself is a pretty good thing, having Cole Caufield as what is essentially the Brendan Gallagher replacement on that line, but there's a really interesting aspect that Brendan Gallagher has that Cole Caufield isn't really super, well toned at, and that's physical, board battle, gritty kind of play. Cole Caufield, sure, while he's a very capable two-way player, north-south skating going on for him over there, he is not the same kind of bulldog that Brendan Gallagher is. And when you have Cole Caufield playing on what is essentially the first shutdown line of your team with Tatar and Danault, both of whom are used to playing in this kind of role, things get a little bit interesting when you have Cole Caufield going up against the Monahan line each shift. And the score, as you know the score, it's 2-1 Montreal at the very end here, kinda reflects how tight this game was. Caufield ended off the first period with 2 of the Canadiens' 4 shots, so that's pretty good, but all in all, just because of how tight this game was, it wasn't really the easiest for Caufield to go out there and work his magic, quote-unquote, like we know he is able to do. No real opportunities, no real space to do the crazy, backhand flip rebound shots that he was doing in practice, or the through-the-legs, double-time kind of move. Not that I'm expecting Caufield to be able to do that at a consistent basis in the NHL, but in the AHL, he was given room for the one-timers. He was given chances on the rush and all that. Because it was a really tight game against Calgary, because for some reason that's just kind of how the Canadiens played the Flames, it wasn't really the best showcase for Caufield and his overall offensive skill set, but when the Canadiens go out there, they play some extra games here on Wednesday, they have themselves Toronto, so we'll see how Cole Caufield is able to perform there against Nick Robertson, hopefully, as well. But even though Cole Caufield went out there and ended off the game with 0 points, he still had himself a boatload of ice time. 15 total minutes of time on ice here for Cole Caufield. Certainly not bad. It's just, when you take a look at how exactly the special teams ice time was going about, yeah, things get a little bit intriguing when you think about the way the Canadiens were going out there on their power plays. Caufield had just over 2 full minutes of time on ice on the power play, but a lot of people would be quick to point out that the most significant power play time that was available to Cole Caufield was not taken advantage of. The 5-on-3 saw Cole Caufield get replaced by Shea Weber, and to be honest, it was fine because Weber scored a goal, but we saw a lot of Habs fans out there saying, oh, why is Cole Caufield not out there? Come on, it's a 5-on-3, give this guy the room to do the one-timer, and at the end of the day, it results in a goal, but I still saw a whole bunch of other Habs fans saying I would have rather seen Caufield out there score no goals instead of Weber out there scoring a goal, which I don't know if that's really all too rational, but hey. Canadiens fans love their 5'7", 15th overall boy at the 2019 draft, so I guess it's somewhat understandable why that sentiment would prevail. But either way, Cole Caufield had himself some looks on the power play. From the limited tape I saw, he honestly did look pretty capable, pretty okay. Although, of course, it is his first game. He is still used to, first off, the Wisconsin system. Because NCAA hockey is a little bit lower paced than NHL hockey, some of the plays that Caufield did make were, in some respects, a little bit passive compared to what should be expected at the NHL level, but hey, you know what, it is what it is. You can't expect this guy to be perfect, and while he was not perfect, he certainly wasn't bad. So the Canadiens ultimately take themselves what is a 2-1 win over Calgary with a hilarious empty net sequence at the very end of the game there. I cannot believe how the Canadiens could miss the empty net so many times, and if they didn't miss, hey, it was getting blocked because Calgary guys were all playing goaltender. It's kind of funny to see that go down live, but what matters at the end of the day is that the Habs get the 2 points. I'm watching the Canucks right here. They are still losing to Ottawa at the time of recording this specific sentence in the audio commentary. It's still 2-1 with about 5 minutes left, so good for Montreal, easing up on their lead, getting another 2 points against Calgary. Hopefully we'll see what goes on with Vancouver and how things go down against the Ottawa Senators in the next half hour or so. But for Cole Caulfield, I thought he played pretty all right. First game of the new system, he certainly could have been worse. So what we saw here, where he was capable, he was competent, he wasn't perfect, but he was still there, it's a good sign. It's a very, very good sign. So we'll see how things go against Toronto in 2 days. But I hope you enjoyed this footage. Talk to me in the comments what you thought about Cole Caulfield and his overall debut, his performance, his plays, the shots he was able to get, because, hey, he finished off the night with a total of 4 shots. So very good for him getting out there as the highest shooting Montreal Canadiens forward. I say forward because Joel Edmondson had 4 shots as well. Good for him. But wrapping up this video, the Canadiens win. Tyler Toffoli is an absolute god amongst men, and Cole Caulfield is pretty okay too. Talk to me in the comments what you think you enjoyed. This was Josh Wilson 99, and bye.